All right, I'm going to do a super quick tutorial on how to get Visual Studio Code set up with set up for C++ development. So I've already done a video for our Python class on how to get Visual Studio Code set up. So I'm not going to do that here. If I can figure out how to put links in this video thing, I'll do that. Otherwise, just you got to look for it. So anyway, we're assuming you've got VS Code set up. So we're going to need a couple things. We need an extension that helps us with C++, and we need a compiler. So I think let's get the compiler first. So Visual Studio Code does not come with a compiler. You have to bring your own. So we are going to use the Clang compiler. It works on Mac OS, Windows, Linux, works everywhere. So because in our class we have Macs and PCs and whatever's, we're gonna use Clang. So what you do is go LLVM and then GitHub. And this will take you to the LLVM project. And if we click here, if your screen looks like this, you're in the right spot. Go down here to releases, LLVM. This version is 1706. And then scroll down. For the Mac version of this tutorial, we grabbed, or actually we didn't need to. You could grab this one. This is the manual way to do it. But this is the Windows one. So for Windows, if you scroll down, 1706, Win32, this is 32-bit Windows. This is 64. These are Intel based, but I'm on a Mac, so my version of Windows is running through Parallels. So I'm on the ARM processor. So this WOA stands for Windows on ARM. So for most of you guys, you're going to use this Win64. If you're on an Intel, if you've got a Mac and you're running Windows through Parallels, you're going to need this guy. So for now, I'm going to grab this one. So I've already downloaded this. It takes a little bit. This one's 300 megs. Took a couple minutes on my machine. But this is where it's at. So download this. I've already got it. If I go to downloads, here it is. I'm going to sort of install this. I've already got it installed, but I want to show you a couple settings that you're going to need. So if I double click on this, they don't sign their executables, so Windows thinks it's a virus. So if I go in here, I know where I got it from. I'm going to run it anyway. And it's probably going to freak out again. I'm not even going to enter my password. I'm just going to hit yes. And somehow or another, it lets me do this. So LLVM is already installed. Yep, I know. Do you want to uninstall it? In this case, no, because I'm not going to go all the way through this install. So I'm going to hit no. So here, hit next. Yeah, I agree. So this is the setting I wanted to show you. For our purposes, I want you to add LLVM to the path for the current user. If your computer has multiple users on it, it's kind of a bad idea. But for you, just do this current user one. That's as far as I'm going to take this. If I hit next, it's going to install all the way. I don't need it. It's already got it. So I'm going to cancel. Yeah, I'm done. All right, so after you've done all that, let's check and make sure the compiler is in our path directory, meaning we can type any of the compiler commands into our command line and we can run them right there. So to do that, just type CMD from the start menu for a command prompt. And then if we go, let's use Clang again. Clang ++. Now this one, just check the version, -- version, enter. You should see This is the latest version we just put in. And if we just type Clang again, Clang ++ and hit enter, it's looking for code files that it wants to compile. So anyway, we're all set here. All right, so we have the Clang compiler installed. Now on Windows, because it's kind of a beast on its own, we still need the header files, libraries, and Windows-specific tooling needed to compile. Clang is going to use all that that's been installed on the Windows OS. So for development, we need to do that. So the best way to do that, if we go back to our browser, let's go Visual Studio, Build Tools. Okay, this first one here, click here, download Visual Studio Tools. So this brings you to the Visual Studio page. We're not going to install this. This is a giant IDE. We're going as lightweight as possible. This is what we're going to use, Visual Studio. Now we need the tools for it. Right here, tools for Mac or for Visual Studio. Scroll down just a little bit, and you're going to see Build Tools for Visual Studio. This 22 version. So hit download, and it's done. It's just an installer. So when you run this, I'll show you which one to click on here. All right, so the only thing that we're going to select is this guy, desktop development with C++. Okay, it's got everything we need in it. It actually has its own version of Clang. It's just not as current as the one that we just downloaded. That runs within Microsoft's own compiler, which is this MSVC, which we're not going to use right now. We're just going to use Clang, and we're going to use the newest version, which is not included in the Microsoft tooling. So anyway, I'm not going to install this right now. I've already got it installed on my own, but that's how you're going to do it. So let's close out of here. Oops, excuse me. For the C++ class, I'm going to create a new profile. So create profile. This will just be a blank one, and we'll call it C++. Create. Okay. So we can close all these down, close. So you have nothing installed now. So let's go ahead and install these. So I want two extensions. One's mandatory, one's just kind of nice. So the mandatory one, we are going to do the C++ extension. If I just type that in there, the top one is made by Microsoft. I want this one. So go ahead and hit install. This can take a little bit sometimes. All right, so that finished. Let's see. Close that down. So there's our C++ extension. The other one I want just helps with error checking. If you type error, use this first one here. It's called Error Lens. I really like this one. Install this guy. It's pretty quick. All right. So that's the two I'm going to use for this. So next thing we need to do is, I guess let's just make a quick little program just to test it all worked. So in here, let's make a folder. Okay, we'll call it code. Go ahead and select the folder. So that folder now opens up in our window here. So let's do a couple things. One, we need to tell the extension, this the C++ extension, where our compiler is. So the best way to do that, if we go View Command Palette, there's a shortcut for it that you'll learn to use all the time. Type C++, and then we want this edit configurations UI. All right, and then we don't want this. All right, what it did was it dropped a .vs code folder into our code folder, and inside this is a JSON file called C++ properties. This is where all of our properties dealing with our C++ settings, compilers, all that kind of stuff is set up. So down here, our compiler path, we want to tell our C++ extension where that compiler was that we just installed. So these are all the compilers I have installed on here. I'm sure your number will be different. So we want this guy right here. So this is the LLVM Clang++ compiler. So click that one. And then IntelliSense, this is what helps us type code faster, look for errors. This one I'm going to pick down here. So let me see if I can find it. Right here. I want the Windows Clang, for me, because I'm on a Mac that's running Windows in Parallels, I need this ARM64 processor. For you, if you're on an Intel based PC, most likely you're going to do this Windows Clang x64. If you're 64-bit, or 32-bit, you're going to use x86. So this is what I'm going to pick, and this is for our IntelliSense mode. It actually compiles your code in the background and looks for errors as you type. And let's see, anything else? Yes, on C++ standard, I pretty much do everything in version 20. And that's it. So close that down. Now let's make a simple program. So click in your window here. Make sure it's not in this VS Code folder. Go new. Let's do main.cpp. This is the simplest program I know how to write. Include. And we'll get into what all this stuff means. All right. That is a simple program. So what we want to do is, down here I have my terminal down here already set up. So if this is closed, you need to get it back again. Go, I have some 3 dots there. New terminal. Now this is just like the command prompt. So you can type Clang++. And then here I'm going to feed this main.cpp right into our Clang compiler. So main.cpp, and then I'm going to do space -o. Again, that's not 0, that's the letter O, lowercase o, space, and then this is the name of my executable I'm going to have it make for me. So we'll call it my app.exe. And when I hit enter, it's going to compile that file here and turn it into an executable, which is right here. And then I think all I have to do is type my app.exe. Let's see if it runs. Whoops, what did I do? Let's see, dot. There it is. I just typed it in wrong. So dot / my app, it's just looking for it. And if you see this, hello, you know that you have everything set up correctly. If you got this far, congratulations, and I will see you in class.